welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be doing stage 81 of the Moomin House from D'Agostini. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Go ahead and get the parts open, and this is more on the first of the permanent walls. I think there are two fully permanent walls to the house. I'm not positive. So let's get the book open. Clamps might be in the way. I might have to move them. Along with the, let's see, I got Solvaset there. Definitely won't be needing that. A couple other things. White paint that I've been using anytime I need to paint white. Interesting thing, this wasn't solid, but it was getting solid. I was able to recover it by adding a significant amount of water to it. So it's back in pretty usable shape. Although when I shake it, it gets bubbly. Okay, so we have 2FB1 ends, or 2FB1. Let's see, we have one N. I'm looking, okay, we have one 2FB1N, and then 5 of the 2FB1s. Difference being the 1N has holes in it. They go all the way through. That I think will actually, looking ahead, will actually help to hold this to the other piece that we built in the last video. Lost my train of thought again. So we have a 3, 4, 2. Actually, we have 2 4s. And I just saw the 2 and the 3 have holes in them for magnets. We'll take care of that first rather than last. We've got a dowel. We've got 6 magnets. Throw that away. And 2 strips that are going to go on the edges. Oops. So let me get rid of that. Bring over my little puddle of glue from the last episode. And I am going to go ahead and put these magnets in here right off the bat so I don't have what happened last time, which was things falling apart while I was doing the magnets. So, like I've done before, rather than super glue, I'm going to go ahead and put just white or wood glue into these holes. Seems like it works just as well. Don't think that the magnets are going to pull out. If they do eventually come out, then I guess I'll have to super glue them then. I don't think they will. They're firmly embedded into these pieces. And for the most part, I'm pretty sure we're going to keep the wall off, the removable walls off, simply because if they're on, you can't see the inside. Let me get the pliers. Get these together in a single thing. And similar to what I did last time, I found that putting the magnet on there like that, is the easiest way to get it into place. Can't do that with the wood, or not wood, the metal pieces. That one actually slid exactly in there with no issue whatsoever. I wonder. And it did come out. So now let me put it back. Let me put it in this one and see if it's going to stay there. Yeah, that one I'll need to put a little bit of different glue in there, or just let it set up before I start messing with it. Next one of these off of here. Let's see if this one will just slide in the way the second one did. Okay, that one's going to stay good. Well, put a little bit more glue into that spot. And what I'll do is push this in there and then let it sit while I do the other parts. Hopefully that will set up and stay in there. This is the first time I have not had to push really hard to get these parts, the magnets or the little metal dots to go into place. That's more like what it normally is. That one actually took some effort to push it in. Push that one in. And then we'll push this last one in. Actually, pushing it this way is a lot easier, but little metal pieces, which are all done, by the way, don't go in that easy, or they don't stick to the pliers. So that one's good. Let's just double check on this one and see. That one's now set. Just had to let it dry a little bit, put the needleless pliers away. And we will start with strip 4 here. Numbered face to the left, like this. And then we're going to take one of the ones. It's going to go on here. Just double checking where they want it. So not on the first one here, on the first one, the next one over. Oops. Pin vise works for some things. I prefer paintbrush for most things because it gets more glue where I'm trying to put it. I like this tray because it has a little spot there that kind of acts as a ledge. We're going to put the clamps on. Because there is a slot here, putting the clamp on this side purposely. So we're going to do the second one of these. Make sure you have the short spot to the top, the number to the left here. We're going to put the glue in here like that. Put this in here, and then we're going to take a clamp and put it on the right hand side so that it leaves things open. After that, we have the rest of these 4. All the numbers are going to face up. These 4 are going to go in these 4 spots right here. One. Actually, let me see. No, only 3. Sorry. So these 3 pieces are going to go on next. I'm just going to put each one on, put some glue in both of the slots. Always put enough glue, sometimes too much. Because if you wipe it off before it sets and dries, it is pretty easy to get it off. Also, if it does set and dry, you should be able to scrape it out of there if need be. But with this being inside the wall, it shouldn't block anything. With the level, with how close the next one is, have to angle the clamps a little bit. The third one here. I love the way these walls are built. And since these are permanently stationary walls, this might be where I run my wires. There's the option of doing it through the interior of the walls or doing a conduit inside the actual space of the Moomin house. I'm thinking I would like to do it in the interior of the walls. That's what I originally started doing. But the inside of the inside walls, or the actual interior walls, would turned out to start to be a little bit cumbersome. So what I'll be running the wires out to the outside of the wall shouldn't be, or outside of the floor area, pardon, shouldn't be that big a deal. So let me get this last one in here. We're going to put this clamp on the bottom because next piece is going to, I don't know if it's the next piece, but there will be a piece going up on top, as well as one going down on the bottom there. So the next thing it says is to take the 2FN piece, or 1N piece, with the holes for the dowels to go into, and that one's going to go down on the very bottom. Put some glue in each of these slots. And then we're going to grab a couple of clamps. I've got one handy. I'll have to grab another one out of my box of many clamps. If you've ever watched the Friday or Sunday streams, if clamps come up, you'll come up in the those streams, you'll have seen that I have more clamps than any one person really needs. On purpose, by the way. Okay. So there's that one. The next thing we do is put this one on top. Actually, this glue is starting to run out, which is fine because I had watered that glue down way too much. So get this one on here. So let me set this down here. Take a look. Okay, so the next thing they want you to do is to put these vertical strips. I didn't even realize I have both pin vices here at the same time. That doesn't happen very often. So FB3, FB2, 3 goes on the right-hand side. Magnets to the outside, lettering to the inside, and it goes all the way up at the top here. Let me see. This one I'm pretty sure, as long as I don't over flex it too much, that one should be good. So we're going to take this. Oh, I'm looking at it wrong. I had it this way. It goes this way. The slots to the outside. Throw a little bit more glue in here. And we're going to put a little bit of glue in each one of these slots. You'll notice I pulled out of the middle of the wall. I specifically pulled out 4 clips because that's what I need for this part right here. Come on. So we're going to clamp here, here. And at the same time I'm clamping these down, I'm also pushing them over to match the frame up as much as possible. I want them pushed solidly against the frame. both from the back as well as from to the left side. So now we'll pull these clamps. We'll leave the ones on the top and the bottom. We're going to set these clamps over here. And just like the other side, two spots up here, the two closer. This time the lettering is going to go to the right, making sure that the magnets are on the outside after I throw it around. And a little bit of glue in each of the slots. No, Beavis, slots, like in Vegas. Sorry, I was just thinking of how that sometimes sounds on Beavis and Butthead. So push that over, wipe that down a little bit. A little bit of excess is not too big a deal. So now we're going to set that down there. Turn the page real quick. Let's see what we need to do. Okay, so it wants me to bring over the other piece from the last issue, this piece here, and we're going to attach it down here. For right now, I'm going to set that there. I'm going to let this sit for about 10 minutes and dry out, or set up. So I'll be back basically for you right away. Okay, it has been drying for a while. Not sure if it was 10 minutes, 15, but long enough that I think it should be set up well enough that there won't be any issues. This thing is getting huge, by the way. Ooh. Yeah, that's going to stay there the way it is. There's a slight gap right here. Don't think it'll cause any issues. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the two halves here and we're going to put them together like that. These three tabs are going to get the slots here. These parts here are going to join together, and the same on this side. Come on, focus. There we go. Let me double check. What does it say? Assemble, join the vertical strips, aligning them. It says to clamp everything together. It's kind of funny because it's telling you to cut the dowels and put them in place after you've put the rest of it together. Pretty much after the glue has set. So we'll see how that works out. First thing I'm going to do is get my paintbrush a little bit wet in the glue again. It's kind of dried out a little bit. Hang on. Let me rinse it off. Get the excess, get the dried glue off of it. Mostly, there we go. That should be good enough. Paper towel right here. Okay. And we're going to need more glue than this. Nice thing about this glue is that once it dries completely, it'll just pop right out of this tray. So we're going to put glue on the top. We're going to put glue here. We're just going to put a lot of glue everywhere because this has got to hold the whole thing together. I'm going to go ahead and paint across the top here, leaving those holes open so that we can get the little dowels in there. Working kind of fast, trying to get this put together before the glue soaks in or sets up or anything like that. And that should be good. Set this here. Now the fun part, getting this all together at the same time. Come on. Come on, get on there. Okay, got that first piece on there. I'm going to clamp each joint. This one's actually sticking away a little bit. Hopefully it'll line itself up a little bit better as I get the rest of it pushed together. I do like the way they did the little zigzag joint there. So we've got that. Almost dropped that one. Fat belly is good for something. Block the clamp from going away. So now we're going to put a clamp in the middle of each of these. I'm going to put one on either side of this hole, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the actual hole that this dowel is going to go through. Now, they say to cut 3 10mm long pins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dowel. It's not going to work from this side, but it is going to work from this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dowel through here, if it will go. There we go. I know that is right length because I can feel the end of the dowel. I'm going to snip that off, push it through. Come on. I'm going to pull that one out, put another one in there, do the same thing. Oops, knocked over some paint. That one's not wanting to come out. I apologize for my voice these days, guys. Get this last one in here. Hold it in place. Snip it off. Almost dropped the dowel on the floor. So now I'm going to put some glue all the way down into that hole from both sides. Slide the dowel in there. And it should set up. It does stick a little bit out the top and out the bottom. That's not going to matter in the long run. Matter of fact, let's put a little bit of glue both ends of the dowel once it's in place. Put this one in there. Like that. Put a little bit of glue here. A little bit of glue on the bottom. Just get messy. And last one here. Put that dowel in. The dowel's not really doing anything other than making sure that everything remains aligned straight. So we're going to let that sit. We're going to let it sit and set up a little bit. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. It says be sure to position them exactly where indicated. Well, if they're indicated to be somewhere else besides where they are right now, nothing I can do. Okay, so let me pause. Gonna go clean the paintbrush and I will be back. Okay, wall is sitting here still drying a little bit. Now what we have to do is take these strips, and I'm just looking, not sure if it shows. Short corner piece, long corner piece, slide with front edge. Now it really doesn't show if it is pretty much square. So let me cut this loose, because the way this is going to work is the other walls, which, let me grab one. This lip is going to line up with the other walls to make everything kind of line up a little bit better. So on here, you've got this spot that's open. This part here should fit down inside of there. I'm just looking. It fits relatively well. Might need some adjustment. Let me see what happens if I turn it. Yeah, the piece is basically square. So either way, it should fit in the spot. Let me just make sure that there are no raised spots. This is one of the few times that this is really going to matter, that little nub. Most of the times the little nub will not matter that much because it's basically just there. It's not thick enough to cause any major issues. On here, it's a little bit more important. Okay, so let me do the same on this one. And on here. Hopefully everything has dried well right there. Let's go ahead and take these clamps off. I was about to throw them in the bin. Not the garbage, just the bin where I keep them. That's not completely set, but it's close enough. That might be a slight issue. I don't think so. Just looking, everything seems to be pretty much lined up. So what we're doing now is we're going to take the bottom, or the long one. The long one's going to go on the bottom and line up with the front edge. Like that. It's going to stretch past the seam there. So I'm going to apply glue. Let me double check. Let's see. It says use wood glue. Okay. Need to thin this a little bit, very little. 2 drops of glue should, or 2 drops of water should be good enough. Need to thin it because it's not spreading. Doesn't have to be really thick. It just has to be thick enough to attach it. Okay. There we go. That's spreading a lot better. So we're going to put this on here, spread it across. Just had a thought, looked over, made sure the video was actually recording. So now this is going to line up on the bottom and with the front edge. So first I'm going to line it up down here, bottom front. I'm going to clamp it in place down here at the bottom. And I'm going to go up here to the top of this piece. I'm going to clamp it here. And I'm going to put a couple of other clamps to keep it pushed up against there. And if there's any raised places on it, what I'll do is I'll just sand it just a little bit. So now we're going to do, let me double check. Does it want, yeah, it wants you to do the 2 bottom pieces first. I'm looking over at the other piece just to make sure. So we're going to set that there like that. We'll take this long one. And do the same thing. We're going to paint the glue on. This should, with the glue being a little bit thin, and with as small as this wood piece is, this should set up pretty quickly. Not going to take any chances. Once I have the pieces in place, I will leave them there for a couple hours. So now we'll take this one and we will line it up, the bottom, front. Come on down to the bottom. There we go. Do the same on this side. Of course, it would help if I had the glue side down against the other piece. I just noticed that. Now I'm going to have to repaint this. Too much working back and forth. It looks like it was all absorbed into the wood. I mean, there's still glue on the surface, just not enough for my liking. Oops, I got glue on me now. Okay, let's try this again. This time keeping track of which side is the side with the glue on it. Oops. A little bit easier to do it this way. No, don't push that over like that. Take this one, do the same thing on this side. Make sure this one is on here. I'm just kind of making sure everything is straight as I'm doing it. So anybody who has watched my channel for a while knows that that sound was my wife texting me. So let me set that down, pause the camera, and I'll be right back. Okay. So I am back with this. I've taken the clamps off. There is a little bit of a rough spot over here, and it's just too much glue there. That'll be fine. I will just use a sanding block to remove that, and then all we have left to do is put these two pieces on. So let me paint the glue on here, and you could say why. You could look at it and go, why don't I put the glue on the bigger piece? And it's because I don't want glue all the way up and down there. I just want it where it is, where this piece is making contact. Grand scheme of things probably won't matter, but it just, to me, it's just a little bit cleaner that way. So I'm putting this right up against the longer piece. So what I'm going to do is this first one, I'm going to actually clamp both on the long and the short strip. And I'm going to go over here, see if I can find a spot to clamp on the short one, because there's not really a spot down here to clamp. But we'll put a couple of clamps in here to hold it in place. Just take a look. Let me just take a look. If that does not stay, if it doesn't bond, I will fix it after the fact. Set that up there. Take this last piece. Paint down the side with glue. It's much better, much more efficient way to put the glue on. Don't know why I didn't try that before. I'll take this, knock the clip off, make sure this is still in place. We'll set this one, making sure I've got the glue on the right side. Set this one in place. Again, making sure that the front edge is flush. Go up here. Make sure that this edge is flush against there. It's not. Well, actually, no, it is. It's flush in the front, or it's flush at the top and at the bottom. In the middle, it's not. So let's double check. And we will, maybe we will, okay. Here, let me put a clamp on here to make it not be so heavy towards me. Clean this brush up. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is all there is to do in this stage of the Moomin house. Not sure whether these are going to go on the same side, but looking at this, other than the fact that this is on the purple cutting mat, these are the same height. I'm just looking, the magnets are all lined up. So I'm thinking this is going to work out really well. This is also the one that I looked at, and it looks square, but it doesn't look square, but it looks square. It's odd. As I look at this one here, it looks like it leans to the right, but if I look at it, you know, if I look closer at it, it doesn't. It's just, this is just an odd one. So that is all there is to do in this stage. In, what is this? This is stage 81. So there are 29 stages left to go. I am really excited to get this done. We're starting to work on the outside of the house, which is really cool. I believe, actually, let me see. I thought this one had a door in it, but I don't know for sure. This doesn't have where it would have a door. Actually, this might be a door here. Now, this is probably a door here. I'm not positive where that's at, but I'm looking forward to pressing on with this. Hope you're enjoying the build. If you are, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell icon to be notified of anytime I post new content. If you leave a comment, I will respond. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video or stream.
Buckman's Model Mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Buckman's Model Mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models.